Now, our lady that we're going to be talking to in just a moment is really quite phenomenal. Talk about innovation. She exemplifies that in the most simple yet profound ways. She is Oratile Seabela. She's established a platform that aims to solve the cash payment system, the lack of public transport integration, the financial exclusion, and the inefficiencies in the minibus taxi industry. Now, it's said that Mali app will enable taxi commuters to make payments without using actual cash. Seabela joins us now to talk more about this innovation. Seabela, a very good evening to you and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Great to have you. And what an innovation. How did you come up with that?
Tammy, thank you so much. It is such a great honor and a privilege to be with you here tonight. It all started in 2017. I was riding a taxi. I hadn't ridden taxis in a while, and I was surprised how we're still using cash to pay inside a taxi. There was a lot of innovation happening at that time, and I was just surprised that nobody had solved the issue of cash payments inside a taxi. So, as you know, I don't know if you've been in a taxi before, but we all have hilarious stories of being inside a taxi. You know, one person brings a 100 Rand note, another person a 200 Rand note, and some are clever, hey? They'll bring like the exact change. They'll buy something before actually boarding the taxi just to get the exact taxi fare required. But the problem is all these coins are going to end up on the taxi floor, you know what I mean? And you know those brave ones who don't pay, right? Prompting the taxi driver to make a U-turn and take us right back to the taxi rank, and we'll all be running late. So cash is a problem for commuters, but we wanted to know if taxi drivers as well as taxi owners would want a solution such as this. So we researched further, spoke to the taxi owners, and they were happy to have such a platform. You know, they have their own issues around cash, you know. They're exposed to the threat of crime because some keep money inside the house for at least a week. There've also been stories of taxi drivers being mugged. There's a location in Gauteng long ago where around about 4 p.m. taxi drivers wouldn't go in this area, and it would be known as a no-go zone area because the taxi owners would get mugged. The thugs would know that at 4 p.m. The taxi driver would have met his target, and they would get mugged in that manner. So we wanted to solve this problem. There's a great value proposition for everybody concerned. And with COVID, cash exposes the commuters and the drivers to the risk of COVID-19 transmission. So this is the ideal solution for the taxi industry. It is high time we adopt such methods.
It certainly is an innovation in its season. But how exactly does the app work?
So how the app works is commuters will download the app from their Google Play Store. They will have it on their phones. They can top up using the payment gateway. When they get inside a taxi, they will find a QR code sticker positioned on the taxi window. They will just whip up their smartphone, scan the QR code, and the taxi driver will get a payment notification.
And have you received any sort of feedback from the app? What have the taxi drivers as well as commuters said about it?
Well, I'm so happy to inform you that we'll be launching in 2 months' time. We have designed this platform together with the taxi industry. Everybody is excited. The feedback has been great. There's been a lot of back and forth deciding how it should work, what should be done, what value proposition is there for the taxi driver, what value proposition is there for the taxi owner. So we do add a lot of value for the taxi industry.
I'm so interested in your journey as an entrepreneur. One can have a fabulous idea, but actually reaching the point of developing and then launching, which is something you'll be doing in a couple of months' time, as you say. Talk to us about that journey. Who were the people that you had to make contact with, and how did you actually get the technical solution to make this a reality?
Well, it's hard to find talent, especially in the fintech industry, but there have been great companies that we work with, really talented. They've been in the industry for some time. and I'm really privileged to work with such a caliber of people. We do have a strong legal team as well that have put measures in place to make sure that we are compliant, be it POPI compliance, or we have service level agreements. So we do have a team, and I'm proud to also tell you that we were winners of the SAB Social Innovation Awards, which helped in us, really pushing where money is needed to get the job done.
And how did you go about protecting your IP?
So far, we have trademarks in place. Some other, sometimes it's better not to actually register for things like your patents and stuff like that, because it will, reveal the trade secrets. So what we do is prefer to move in stealth mode.
Talk to us about investors and how you went about securing the financing to get to the point where you are now.
Well, investors are quite wary of investing such an idea that serves for the taxi industry because they don't trust them. They're scared of them, maybe perhaps. I was initially scared of them, but once I spoke to them, once we delved into issues, put everything on the table, they were able to explain to me what the real issues are, and this solution attempts to solve problems that they've put on the table.
What is your background as far as being a woman in the fintech space? I guess you did win the SAB Social Innovators Award, but what happened before this?
Before this, I was actually a fashion editor for the iconic Drum magazine. I'm a trends person, as you can see. So I'm a fashion person. I then moved into the e-commerce space, building websites, selling stuff, beauty products online, as well as drop shipping goods from China to America while based here in South Africa. So I have an e-commerce background. And when I came across this problem, I found it a good challenge to solve, because we address so many other things besides cashless payments. We also address the fact that the taxi industry is left financially excluded. We want to tackle that, and that's an issue we want to address.
I'm very interested in the fact that you've pivoted from fashion, and your fashion sense is quite self-explanatory there, dressed to the nines, certainly ready for our date here tonight on Newzroom Afrika. But how was it pivoting into fintech, which is predominantly a male-dominated space?
Tammy, there are challenges such as life, but I wouldn't say there were big challenges. The fintech industry has embraced me. The fact that I'm a woman is not a challenge. It actually works to my advantage because people want to open up to you. So it has worked to my advantage.
And what type of advice would you give to other women who want to enter the fintech space, and perhaps also to other women who want to change careers? I think COVID-19 has been an eye-opener for so many. People introspect and they decide maybe where they're at, and as much as it may have served them at a particular time in their lives, they're not necessarily that person anymore. What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say, young women, go out there, do it scared, do it knees shaking. We need your voice. It is high time that women rise up. The problem that you see in your neighborhood is for you to address. If it bothers you, it's up to you to address that problem. And I would like for us to change our mindset. We need to change the way we look at things. That problem is not a problem. It's an opportunity for you to start a business and change the world.
And once again, your app, is it readily available now as we speak, or is it only going to be available when you launch in 2 months' time? Can people actually go to the App Store now and download the Imali app?
In 2 months' time, they'll be ready to download, scan, and be cashless.
And why Mali with a double I at the end?
For trademark reasons, I can't exactly patent Mali, because it's money. So it was for patent reasons, and it sounds cool, Mali, Chelete, Zaga,
Well, awesome chatting to you tonight, and congratulations on an innovation that will really change the way the taxi rides are being. No longer will you be kicked out of a taxi for having a 200 Rand note and the taxi driver not having any change. So you really have answered that. You've answered that problem for us. Siyabonga for that. Have a good evening. She is our guest today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, beloved. She is Oratile Seabela, a founder and creator of Mali. That's with the 2 I's, really solving the problem of having a moneyless commute in the taxi. It's going to be launched in about 2 weeks' time.